Here, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new viewer, just want to say welcome. I am a homeschooling mama too, and I love to make homeschooling videos to encourage and motivate homeschooling parents that are going through this amazing homeschooling journey. Today I'm doing a Q&A about Brave Writer. I talked to you all about a couple weeks ago about all the Brave products that Brave Writer has to offer. I just asked you, to give me some questions that you guys had about Brave Writer. So I wrote them down and I'm going to try to answer them as best I can. If for some reason I cannot answer a question, I will point you in the right direction so you can get the correct answer. So here I'm drinking some tea from my Brave Writer mug, and let's go ahead. If I cannot finish all the questions or the answers in 15 minutes, I will do another video. My phone, I don't know if it's my phone or YouTube, won't let me post anything that is more than 15 minutes. Maybe because I post from my phone, I don't know. But anyways, so let's get started. And also, if you have any more questions after this, make sure you post them below. And so thank you so much for being here. So the first question, I got tons of really good questions, and I'm trying to, like I said, I'm gonna try to answer them the best that I can. You begin anywhere with the guides, with the arrow guides or boomerangs. Yes, you can pick whatever arrow guide or boomerang you want, depending on the type of books that your kids like to read. And they're all gonna work in different grammar skills. They're gonna have different literary elements. You might find some of the same grammar skills or literary elements in different ones. So they just pick based on the passages. The grammar skill is picked, but you don't have to do them in any order. You will work in different things in different arrow guides, and you will find some of the same things as you work in other ones. So just go ahead, pick the one that you want to read, and just go ahead and do it. Okay, a little sip here. Okay. So, next one. Do you think high school is too late to jump into the lifestyle, the Brave Writer lifestyle? No, it's not. If you want to jump into the Brave Writer lifestyle, go ahead and jump in. And I wanted to share with you, which is a great book to read, to just kind of help you how to jump into that lifestyle, but just how to be a great parent, a great educator, and how to bring some enjoyment and enchantment into your child's life. Doesn't matter if they are in first grade or they are in 9th grade and you want to start doing this now. Read The Brave Learner by Julie Bogart. Is finding everyday magic in homeschool learning and life. And if you haven't read this book, I totally recommend it. I'm almost done, and I'm going to read it again and take more notes and trying to start applying some of the things that new things that I'm learning, from Julie from this book. So I am really excited to just keep working on the things that are in here. So if you have a high schooler and you want to jump into this Brave Writer lifestyle, this is a great book to read, and just to give you some practical ideas of things that you can do at home. And for anything, jump and do an online class. It's a great way to start with your high schoolers. I know sometimes as high schoolers they want some independence. So yes, you can start, even if you have an 11th grader right now, you can jump into the lifestyle and you can jump into the Brave Writer and try some of the amazing things that Brave Writer has to offer. Next one I have. How well does it work with different age groups? Right now, I'm only doing it when my daughter, she's 12. I have a 5-year-old, which we haven't started any formal schooling yet. We do some school, but we haven't started doing writing. But you can totally do it for, different age. Like if you look at the projects from, I know Jot It Down is for the younger kids, but you can adapt, you don't have to do the project exactly how it's written. You can use it for the younger kids, or you can, make it a little bit harder, give them a little bit more work, or change some things around to work with the older kids. I know also, you can do, if you have younger ones and you're doing the quiver of arrows, and then you have older ones that are doing arrows, maybe you can switch. One of the things that Julie recommends, and I have read, you can switch 1 month do an arrow, 1 month do a quiver of arrows. Maybe the quiver of arrows, the passages are shorter for the kids to copy. So maybe for older kids, maybe give them longer passages. Or if you are doing an arrow with a younger kid, maybe give them 1 or 2 sentences instead of giving them a whole passage that is in the arrow guide. So you can totally adapted to work with, different ages. I don't know how easy it will be if you have a really little one and like a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old. Maybe you need to do different things, but if you're there closer in age, those are the things that you can do. How do you implement the Brave Writer on a daily basis? And do you do copy work every day? On a daily basis, I do have a video that I explain how to do Brave Writer throughout my week, and I will post that because it will take me a while to explain it. But one of the good things about Brave Writer, just things that I don't plan to do everything. Like when I do my read aloud, for me that's part of the Brave Writer lifestyle, and when we watch movies, that's part of the Brave Writer lifestyle. So just some kind of things that just come natural in our family, and that's how we sprinkle the Brave Writer lifestyle things into our home. But if we're working on an arrow guide, we will work on it. Maybe on Monday we start with a passage, and we will start. Sometimes we start the copy work on Monday, but sometimes we'll start on Tuesday. And on Monday we just look through the passage and we look for spelling words, and we find the nouns and we find the adjectives in the passage, and then the next day we start copying. One of the things that I ask my daughter to do, she'll start writing, copying the passage, and I'll ask her to write as much as she wants to write until she gets tired, until she feels that her handwriting is gonna get sloppy. If she's starting to feel like that, she stops and she finishes the next day. So it all depends on how long the passage is. But usually you can do a passage, copy work on one day. The next day you can work on that grammar skill for that week, or the grammar on, you look at the grammar notes, and then on Friday or Thursday you can do the dictation. So it all depends on how you want to work into your homeschool. That's one of the things that Julie didn't want us to have the arrow guide and tell you exactly what to do on Monday, exactly what to do on Tuesday. No, she just gives you kind of a guide. That's what they call arrow guide, a guide, and you can work it into your family the best, however it works for your family, and then sprinkling those Brave Writer lifestyle things throughout the week, and work one project a month. But I will post that video on top. I do have a video that I think I made last year, or maybe the year before. It's been a while since I made it. How I get everything Brave Writer done throughout the week. So I'll post that video so you guys can see. But one of the things that a Brave Writer, you work it how it works better for your family with no set schedule. So, but if you want to get an idea, you can look at that video. How do you fit in the literary element on the project? So the literary element is at the end of the guide. So I try to, we don't do it all the time, for each guide. I will be honest, sometimes we skip it, but it will be, after the 4th week, there's a literary element at the end of the guide. So we'll work it after we have done the passage for the 4 weeks, and I just kind of sprinkle the writing projects throughout the year. This year is kind of being a little bit crazy for us, so we haven't done as many projects as I wanted to, but we did last year. And because with our move this year, it's just been a crazy year, and I just finally starting to catch up. But anyways, but last year we did about 3 projects, and we worked, we took our time, and some of them were shorter than others, and we worked one thing one week, and the next week we worked on another thing, the next week work in a different thing. So like I said, again, it depends how you work for your family. It's one of the great things about Brave Writer. Does it matter if you haven't read that part of the book before you get to the copy work? I think I'm reading that correct. Maybe I didn't copy it correctly, but does it matter if you haven't read that part of the book before you get to copy work? I think it's better to, if you're doing the passage, the passage that you're doing for copy work, if you already have read that part of the story, because of course you don't want to, see what's, going to happen before you read it. But so what I do, I try to separate the book in 4, okay? And usually for the week, for the second week, if I haven't gotten to the part where the passage is at, I will keep reading, and I will start the guide on a Wednesday if I have to. It all depends on the book. Some books we read a little bit faster, and we are able to keep up with the arrow guides. Like we just finished reading Wonder. Wonder is such an amazing book. We're sitting and reading So we were able to separate the book in 4, and you know, every week we were able to do, you know, the passage at the beginning of the week. So it worked out like that. Sometimes the books are really short, and we'll be done in 3 days, and then we have 4 weeks of passages. Those are the harder ones, I think, because for us, for me, once we're done with the book, then it's hard to, you know, you kind of lose, not that you lose interest, but it's hard to work on the passages for 3 more weeks after you're done with the book, and you kind of, you know, the book is kind of in the back, because we already read it. But it's also hard when you're reading a book and the kids like it or you like it, and only to read 2 or 3 chapters, you know, a week, because you don't want to be too ahead. So it kind of, again, however works for you. It worked perfectly for Wonder. Every week we did our passage. We finished in a month, so it was great. But last month we read Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes. We were done in a week, and then we have this other 3 passages to do. We did them, but it didn't seem as relevant after we were done with the book. At least that's the way I feel that my, you know, daughter is seeing it. So just maybe try to, you know, keep up. I hope I answered the question correctly, and I hope it makes sense. Next one is a very parent intensive. Yes, the Brave Writer is all about you partnering with your kid, and you know, sometimes you have to hold their hand, especially in the younger years. So yes, it is parent intensive. One of the, you know, stages of writing is, you know, the partnership writing, and you partner with your kid and you work on these projects together. You sit down, you read aloud, you do the arrow guides together. When we did the online class, you know, it was our first class, so we did it, you know, together. I don't know, as we get older, how much the parents backs up, but one of the things of Brave Writer is you hold their hand as much as they need to. And so this is parent intensive. This is not something you just give your kids and go ahead and do. No, because one of the things about Brave Writer is that Julie talks about, and it's so important, is that relationship with your kid. And so Brave Writer is really parent intensive. So if you want something that your kid can do, you know, by themselves, and just go ahead, I think Brave Writer might not be what you're looking for. But if you need, you know, something, you want to work with your kid and have fun with your kid and read books with them, and Brave Writer is the thing for you. Someone is asking, how old are my kids? Are we working with Brave Writer now? I have a 12-year-old and I have a 5-year-old, and we haven't started anything. Yeah, we read books and we watch movies, we do things, Brave Writer lifestyle, but we haven't started any of the, you know, curriculum yet. So maybe next year when he starts kindergarten in the fall, we might do some jotted down projects. I'm gonna see where he is, you know, back then. But of course, we do read alouds, we watch movies, and we do a lot of the things. We go nature walks, a lot of the Brave Writer lifestyle things. Another question that I have here: for those with larger families and multiple ages, how easy will it be to incorporate into the homeschool day? I think I talked a little bit about it before. Just trying to do a lot of things together, do the same arrow guide together and work on it, and do you know, try to change from arrow guide to boomerangs. And maybe the older kids can, you know, read the book on their own. If you have kids that are in boomerang, maybe they can work on their own, or read the book on their own and you work with them on the arrow guide. Or if you have, you know, and then you can read, you know, the read aloud with the younger ones. So it all depends on your children, but I think it's totally doable.